Hi, welcome everybody to Yoga for Everybody. I'm your teacher for the day, Skyla Ramirez. Let's take a moment and decide where we would like to start with our session today. You can start seated or lying down. All of our classes begin with at least 3 to 5 minutes of mindful breathing. So if you are seated, you may want to sit on a pillow or even a blanket. If you're lying down, you're welcome to keep the knees bent and maybe put your hands on your belly. If you're seated, let the hands rest easy down onto your knees or into the lap. Notice the position of the head and neck. Maybe move the neck just a little bit. Take it side to side. Shake it like you're saying yes. And notice the position of the back of the neck. If we're lying down on the floor, we could always grab a pillow and put it at the top of your shoulders all the way up through the neck and the head. So a lot of times when we use a pillow, we put it directly behind the head, but it may not be comfortable until you bring that pillow all the way down behind the tops of the shoulder blades. Let's get comfortable with the body, knowing that at any time you can move, at any time you can be still, always moving towards comfort. So we may not find that perfect place if we're dealing with any type of chronic disease or chronic pain in the body. We may not find that perfect place today, but think about how you can always move towards comfort or move away from the discomfort in some way. Having the hands resting near the body, let's lower the head a little bit, maybe close the eyes. If we keep our eyes open, we look past our cheeks and past our nose. From seated, we're looking towards the floor. If we're lying on our backs, we just gaze softly past the tip of the nose. Become aware of the breath. And with that awareness of the breath, let's allow the body to use the path of least resistance. So inhaling through the nose or the mouth. Although it is recommended to breathe in through the nose, at any time if there's an obstruction with the breath, breathe in through the mouth. As long as we're breathing, we're doing yoga. Let's begin with 3 to 5 deep breaths, inhaling, fully filling the lungs. And then exhale, relax. Maybe even a sigh of relief. Big inhales, pulling the breath in with bits of effort. And exhale. At least 2 more like this. Now let's take a moment and just allow the breath to require as little effort as possible. So noticing where is that breath that can be maybe the most passive in the body, and we become a silent witness to the breath, watching as the body opens to receive the breath, watching that moment where we feel that we are exhaling and noticing where does the breath come from when we exhale. This is a meditative technique, the observation of the delicate relationship between the body and the breath. Take a moment and form a belief around this body and breath connection. Let's form an affirmation. Maybe take a moment and think about if there's anything at all for you to want for in this moment, anything at all that you want to see you through the day or through the week, take a moment and acknowledge that desire. And it could be something as simple as I want ease. I want to be at peace, or I want wellness. I want grace or compassion. I want comfort or safety, security. So acknowledging anything you want right now, what is the emotion that accompanies that heartfelt desire? And then shift the language to I have or I am. I have peace. I have support. I am safe. I am secure. I have comfort. I am the embodiment of health and wellness. Probably one of the biggest ones. I have love. I am the embodiment of love. So decide for yourself what affirmation, what belief, short and sweet, just a simple statement. Which one can you carry with you through the practice today? Repeating the simple affirmation at least 3 times in your mind or out loud, and breathing in the emotion, breathing it in, feeling it with the body. If it doesn't feel true for you, it's okay. The process of change in yoga involves breath, so we breathe, emotion, feeling, feel, belief, and then resolve. So we breathe, feel, believe, achieve. Breathe, feel, believe, achieve. From seated, let's take a moment and come down to lying on our backs. And if you're lying on your back, maybe go ahead and bend your knees. Let's meet in our constructive resting pose. So constructive rest pose is lying on our backs with the knees bent. Let's take the feet out to about hips width and knees to hips width distance as well. From here, bring the arms out like a T with the palms facing up or down. If you're having any pain in your upper back or neck, maybe bend the elbows and lower the arms a little bit. Again, hands up or down to create the most comfort for your body. Let's take the knees into a gentle sway, starting really slow. So the slower we move, the more time that we have to observe various sensations, various impulses of energy that move through the body as we sway. And with more time, we notice those sensations and we notice where the movement may create pain for us. So if we're noticing any part of this movement that's creating discomfort, maybe we just back off of that movement a little bit. Maybe you only do the movement to one side. Sometimes part of healing pain in the body is stillness. So a lot of times people will ask, what can I do to heal this part of my body? And being still is a form of doing. So sometimes it's a matter of just allowing a body part to rest. Let's add in a rhythmic breath with this twist. Exhale as the knees go to one side. Inhale when they move through center. Exhale, twist. Inhale through center. Now, if you want, take the arms and drape them over in the opposite direction of your knees. So as your knees twist over to the left, lift up the left arm and twist both arms, reaching to the right. Let's inhale, both arms at center. Exhale, as the knees go to the right, lift the right arm, reach to the left, and look over to the left. Inhaling through center. Exhale, nice big twist. Let's do maybe one more on each side. So it's enough time to really wring out the spine, wringing out the kidneys, liver, pancreas, intestines, adrenal glands. We're just kind of wring it out, squeezing out any toxins or stress that might be hiding in the body. When you feel like you've evened it out on left and right, let's meet with our knees at center. And let's take one knee in at a time, holding on behind the thighs or behind the knees. Drawing the knees towards the chest, let's open the knees wide. This is stretching the inner thighs and the muscles that help to trigger drainage of the lymphatic system in the hips and legs. Let's shake off our feet and roll out the ankles a little bit. Maybe extend the legs up towards the sky into a big V and point and flex the toes, working a stretch into the calf muscles. When you're ready, bring the feet to neutral. Let's bring the feet in, slowly bending our knees, lowering our feet to the floor, bringing our hands behind the head. Let's draw our left knee in towards the chest and then come up, maybe just a little contraction of the belly, creating a gentle squeeze in the abdomen. And now slowly lower. Let's lift the other leg, gentle squeeze. So this does look very much like a sit-up in traditional Western exercise. In yoga, we just call it belly work or abdominal contraction. So the purpose of this is not so much focused on, six-pack abs. The focus of this is to squeeze and contract the belly in such a way where we're able to maybe assist in the digestion of old waste that might be sitting in the intestines, and maybe even the assimilation of nutrients. If we have maybe some mechanisms in the stomach or the intestines that maybe need to wake up a little bit so we're able to move things around through the belly and help with better absorption of nutrients. Let's even this up on each leg. When you feel that this is even from left and right, relax the feet, relax the arms. Let's step our feet out to hips width. Lower the hands down to the floor. Inhale, lift the hips, moving into bridge pose. Exhale, lower the hips and bring the arms overhead. Active flowing bridge. Inhale, hips up, hands down. Exhale, hips down, arms overhead. Let's match the movement with the breath. Inhale, peeling up the tailbone. Press the hands down beside you. Exhale, slowly lowering the spine and hips and stretch from the armpits. Let's do a few more. Option to close the eyes. Feeling the work in the feet. Flowing movement through the shoulders and the hips. The next time your hips are down, let's hold the hips down. Arms extending overhead. Let's take both legs out straight, stretching out like a stick. Point the toes, pull the ribs away from the floor so we're opening and stretching through the gut and abdominal region. Relax the upper body. Let's bend both knees, lower the arms. Let's roll over onto one side just for a moment into our sleeping child's position. Curl up into a little ball just for a moment, resetting the energy in the low back and the spine. We're stretching the muscles along the kidneys and the adrenal glands with minimal pressure into the vertebra of the spine. So there's going to be minimal load, minimal pressure or disturbances around the major organs. So just relaxing your spine here. Breathe down into your low back, into the middle back, into the space under the shoulder blades and between the shoulders. Relax the sides of the spine. Relax your low back and hips. Smile, smile like a sleeping baby. When you're ready, let's slowly use that top arm to press up. And let's come into all fours. From all fours today, let's press the hips back into child's pose. And child's pose can be done with your toes tucked under or untucked. It can also be done with your feet touching and the knees wide, again, tucked or untucked through the toes. So take a moment and experiment with the variations. If you always do it one way, maybe just change it up a tiny bit today so the body might get some different sensations. Let's press the hips back towards the heels. The hips can always stay really high, especially if we're noticing pain in the knees. Slide the arms in close to the body, maybe even bring in a pillow or a blanket to put under your head. You could always lay your head down on the floor if that feels better for you. Let's reset the low back for just another few breaths. Breathing into the low back, breathing across the middle back and side ribs, and even pressing the breath under the armpits. When you're ready, slowly come up. Let's reach forward with the arms until the elbows lift and lift the hips. Keep reaching with the arms and maybe allow your belly to drop towards the thighs into puppy dog pose. So as we're doing this, we're stretching the abdomen, we're stretching the belly, and we're pressing our shoulders back while we reach with the hands, getting a little bit of a contraction under the armpits. From here, come to all fours. Let's step 1 foot forward at a time to find a standing forward fold for the body. We may want to let the hips sway a little bit. Come to any still point, relax the head and the neck. Let's shake out the head, shake it yes, and turn it left and right. When you're ready, deepen the bend in the knees. Let's all bring our hands up onto the thighs. From here, pressing the hips back into standing cow pose. When you're ready, exhale, pull the hips forward, round the spine, arms straighten out and drop the head, standing cat. Inhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows out to the side, push the tailbone back, standing cow. Exhale, straightening the arms and legs, rounding the spine, standing cat. Let's try one more like that. Inhaling, soft bend in the knees, elbows bend out to the side, hips pressing back so the crown of the head pulls forward and up a little bit, tailbone pulling back and up. Exhale, drawing the tailbone down and in first so we engage the core muscles, and then dropping the head. Let's come all the way up. Gentle roll up, gently stacking the spine. Let's find our expression of a mountain pose, taking the feet out to about hips width with the body. As we inhale, let's sweep the arms up and overhead. And then exhale, take the hands back and around. Inhaling, big sweep. And then exhale back. Maybe 2 or 3 more like this. Inhaling, big, exaggerated breaths in. Exhale out. Maybe one more. Let's inhale the arms overhead. Turn the palms back behind you while reaching overhead. Let's drop the chin down, gazing to the floor, shifting forward, lifting the heels. Utthita Tadasana. It means the extended mountain. Dropping the heels, let's exhale, swan dive, forward fold, hands to your thighs or shins. Inhaling, lifting halfway, let's flatten the back, and we may want to put the hands up on the thighs to flatten the back. When you're ready, arms out to the side, airplane gesture. Reverse swan dive, press into the feet, reaching the arms overhead. Exhale, sweep the arms back and sit back into chair pose, taking the arms in front of us at about shoulder height, turning the palms up to improve posture in the upper spine. Inhale, sweep the arms back and around, reaching towards the sky, palms in the back position, shifting forward to lift the heels just a tiny bit, chin down. Exhale, drop the feet, swan dive, forward fold. Hands might go to the thighs or the shins, no matter where we are. Let's relax the head and the neck. Inhaling, lifting halfway. Flattening the back, hands might walk up to the thighs for a flat back. Inhaling, reaching up and overhead, big breath in. Exhaling into chair pose, palms facing up, hips go back. Inhaling, arms lifting up and overhead, big breath in. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold all the way towards the floor, as low as the body permits. Let's hang the head loose for a breath or two. When you're ready, reverse swan dive, coming all the way up, big breath in. Exhale, bringing the hands to the heart. Let's step our left foot back, a short stride, casual warrior one, bending the right knee. Inhaling the arms straight up overhead, big breath in. Straightening out the right leg, lifting through the ribs and the heart. Maybe keep the chin down, little back bend. Let's create a little kink in that right knee. Exhale, swan dive, flat back down, hands to the thighs or the shin. Hang the head. Practice 3 long exhales here. One more big sigh of relief. When you're ready, walk the hands up onto the right thigh. Let's hold the hands on the right thigh. Let's find a flat back, flipping the hips back, looking down at the floor. As an option, we can extend the arms out like airplane pose and maybe hold it here, allowing the body time to engage and recruit stabilizing muscles in the spine. So imagine if you had somebody pulling on your fingertips behind you, and there's this sort of a lift. A little bit of cow pose is in this pose where your hips are pressing back, little bend in the right knee, shoulders are drawing back towards the hips. It's as if your shoulder blades are trying to slip down towards your back pockets or towards the back waistband. You can hold it here or bend that right knee a little more, peel up the left foot, and maybe hover that back leg for a moment into warrior 3. We could always keep a toe on the ground behind us. The main component in this pose, or the essence of this pose, is getting most of the weight shift into the right leg, shifting our weight bearing into the right leg to work on bone density. When you're ready, slowly come back, lower the left foot to the floor. Inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Let's step forward, feet at about hips width. Let's flow the arms 3 or 4 times. Inhale, open up through the chest, big stretch as we inhale up, and then exhale back. Exaggerating the inhale. Exaggerate the exhale. 1 or 2 more. Let your body choose for you how many of these flying breaths it's satisfied with. So do an extra one. When you're ready, let's slowly bring the hands to the heart. Stepping our right foot back a short stride and bending the left knee. Reaching the arms overhead into warrior one. Lowering the head, the neck, the gaze is past the left toe. When you're ready, straightening out the left leg and then pulling up from the ribs and the armpits, maybe even reaching back a little bit into a back bend. There really is like almost like the imagery or the essence of like what you would see in the Olympics with gymnasts, where there's this pulling and lifting, this proud gesture through the chest and through the sternum and the collarbones, pulling up. When you're ready, soften the bend in your left knee. Exhale, swan dive halfway down. At that halfway mark, let's feel for a little bend in both knees. Press the tailbone and the hips back. From here, maybe walk the hands down a little more and completely relax the neck and the head. Let's practice 3 exaggerated exhales here. If you're noticing any tightness in your back or hips, open your mouth when you exhale. The more we relax the jaw, the more potential that we have in relaxing the hips. There's this jaw and hip connection that can, if there's any tightness in your back, we can maybe relax the jaw and that will relax the back. Big inhale, exaggerate the exhale. Maybe one more. Let's walk our hands up onto the left thigh and again, flat back. Little bit of cow pose in it. So we're dropping the belly forward, pulling the hips back, lengthening through the heart and the sternum, opening through the chest. We can reach the palms up. If you have your arms out beside you, maybe rotate so the thumbs go up and then back. From wherever we are, we may want to bend that left knee a little more, peel up the right heel, and maybe lift the right foot. Just for a moment, moving into warrior 3. Warrior 3 with a big open heart expression. One more big breath. When you're ready, tap that back foot down. Let's inhale the arms overhead. And then exhale the hands to the heart. Stepping it to the top of our mat, finding our strong mountain stance, inhaling arms overhead. Exhaling the arms back. 2 more like this. Let's find a strong mountain expression, rolling the shoulders down and back. From wherever you are, take the weight down into your left foot and maybe come up onto the right tippy toe. From wherever you are, cross that right tippy toe over your left leg and then flatten that right foot. This might be hard to see, I'm realizing, with the black pants. So I have my left leg behind my right leg. Right leg crossed over the left. So while I'm here, I'm bending my right leg. Keep the left leg straight. Take your right hand onto the right hip, left leg straight, left leg behind the right leg. Inhale, let's take the left arm up, push down into the inside blades of your feet. So that can get kind of like a little confusing for the brain. This is a little bit of brain work here. The inside blades of your feet are on the outer edges of the body now. Let's inhale, take the left arm up. Big breath in, reach from the armpit and maybe bend that right knee a little more and reach over to the right. When you're ready, slowly come to center. Let's bring our left hand down onto the left hip. Soften both knees. Uncross the right leg. Bring it to center. All right, let's shake out the knees. From mountain, feet are at about hips width or pelvis bone width. Let's step down into the right foot. Lift up onto the left tippy toe. Cross the left leg over the right leg. Flatten the left foot. Shift forward, bending the left knee. Right leg is straight and crossed behind you. Let's take our left hand to the left hip. Inhale the right arm up, leaning to the left. So let that right hip kind of dart out a little bit. And your left hip might have a little bit of a drop in it, exaggerating the openness on the right side of the body. One more big inhale. When you're ready, bring it through center. Let's slowly bring both hands down to the hips, bending both knees just a tiny bit. Let's lift the left heel and step it to center. All right, shake off the knees, shake off the feet. So let's move into our standing balancing pose for today. It is an expression of dancer's pose. There are a lot of ways to do this. I'm going to use a wall for balance. Whatever hand is on the wall right now, keep that leg on the floor. Let's take our outside leg, lift the knee, and then press your foot behind you. If it's comfortable, you could always take your arm and make a big circle and maybe hold on with the thumb down. Hold on to your ankle or your foot. As an alternative, you could keep the leg in front, especially if you're noticing any pain in the hip or in the foot. From wherever you are, let's soften our standing leg and slowly begin to shift forward, just a tiny bit. Let's look down at the floor. At any time, we can walk that supporting hand up the wall. Or you could bring that hand onto a chair, a table, a countertop, a desk, anything in front of you. Let's find the breath in the front of the body. At least one more really exaggerated inhale. Big breath in. And then exhale. When you're ready, relax the body. Let's take our time switching sides. Taking our outside leg, we're bending the knee. We could always hold it in front and do the posture like this, or take your arm around and grab hold of the ankle or the foot behind you. The thumb is facing towards the knee, so your pinky finger is close to your foot or to your toes. Big inhale. And then exhale, maybe coming forward just a little bit, maybe walking the supporting hand out in front of the body and finding some sort of support so that we can continue to focus on stabilizing through that standing leg and breathing deep breaths, at least one more big inhale. When you're ready, let's bring both feet down, step onto the feet, roll out the wrist and move the fingers around. All right, so to prepare for the final stretch of our class, take your time and find any blankets, pillows, or props. Let's come down into seated. And if you're seated on the floor with a little bit of support, maybe use a bigger blanket. If you're noticing any pain in your tailbone, there is a little trick that I like for seated poses. If you take a blanket or even a beach towel, take it out so it's kind of, in a long rectangle. And what I like to do is roll it up. And then from this big roll, I create a coil with the blanket. So in the coil, what I'm doing is I'm keeping the center open a little bit. This is where your tailbone would go. This is a technique called floating the tailbone, so that when we sit, there's absolutely no pressure on the tailbone. One of those traveling neck support pillows works perfect instead of the coil. So if you ever have like one of those neck pillows laying around, you could use that instead. All right, so coming into your seat, allow the legs to be in any position for the body. We're just gonna do a little bit of detoxing twist before we lie down. Let's inhale both arms overhead, getting as big of a stretch as we can from the armpits. So maybe even imagine you're doing that climb the rope type movement where you kind of stretch from one side and then stretch from the other, and then walk the hands up that rope, getting as much of a stretch under the armpits as possible. Big breath. And now exhale, take both arms down and twist over to the right. Taking your left hand to the right knee, right hand down to the floor. You can lean back a little bit or keep it fingertip light. Let's inhale as we twist a little more to the right. Maybe close the eyes and lower your chin. Become aware of the feeling of that space between the belly button and the spine. So these muscles are very deep between the belly button and the spine. Try contracting the belly button in with those muscles. So pull the navel in, but also pull in as if you're trying to draw the ribs from the sides to the center of the body. Try pulling the muscles slightly up towards the heart. You could even act surprised. So it's that sensation of in and up. Little twist. Let's hold it. 3, 2, 1. And now slowly come to center and relax. Let's inhale the arms overhead. Neutralize the spine. Climb the rope. Little bit of climb the rope. So these muscles are basically creating traction under your armpits and the trunk of the body right now. A little bit more of a climb, and now reach, big inhale. Exhale, twist over to the left. Right hand to the left knee, left hand down beside us, either a fingertip-like touch or let the hand lean back a little bit. Let the head go in any place where there's the least amount of irritation to your neck. The essence of this pose is in the contraction of the navel. So even if you're noticing pain in your shoulder, maybe bring that left arm just beside you, because this is more about that swivel, contract, and lift of the navel center. Wherever you are, become aware of the energy between the belly button and the spine. Maybe act surprised. Exhale all the way first. Chin down. Surprise. Navel in and up, contracting the belly button in towards the spine, contracting the muscles of the ribs in from the sides to the center, pulling those muscles up under the rib space. One more deep contraction. Let's hold that contraction. 3, 2, 1. And now slowly release that. Let's come to center. Inhale the arms up overhead, gentle stretch. We can lace the fingers together and invert the hands into what we call the palm gesture, pressing up through the palms. This is a particular mudra or physical expression that is meant to energetically stimulate elements of spirituality. So feeling a sense of oneness with the cosmos, the universe, ethereal planes of consciousness, whatever you might interpret that to be. Press up, inhale, feel as if you're going to lift up out of your seat, and at the same time, your hips are being pulled down and back. Big inhale. Exhale, release the hands. Let's relax those shoulders, relax the wrist. Hey, if you're on a perch, maybe come down just off to the side. And let's take our time to make our way into lying on our backs. So we might want to lie down on our side first. Come down and reset the spine in your sleeping child's pose. Curl up into a little ball just for a moment. It's this little yoga intermission that can make such a big difference for comfort in the low back and the spine. Let's breathe down into the low back. Breathe to the middle ribs. Breathe underneath the shoulder blades. Relax the jaw. If there's any stress or any tension hiding in the body, it's usually going to hide in the low back and hips first. So we want to just relax that jaw, relax the buttocks and the hips. When you're ready, roll over onto your back. Let's take our right leg, just the right leg, out straight. From here, take the left arm up and reach it up and overhead. Feeling for a stretch or a sensation that goes from the inside of your right hip through the navel and then up through the left armpit. You could always put your right hand on your belly, feeling for the breath in that belly place. Maybe even imagining a warm gold light in the stomach. Stay here a little longer. If this feels good for your body, you may need to stay on one side longer than the other. If you want to experiment with the other side, let's slowly lower our arm first. Gently bend the right knee. Let's feel our right foot on the floor. Pada Bandha. It's called the foot lock. Feel the feet anchored to the earth and maybe even affirm, I feel supported by the earth right now. I feel the earth's support. Let's extend the left leg out. It can be a flat foot or a little pointed toe. If you're noticing any pain, put a blanket or a pillow underneath the knee on that extended leg. Let's take our right arm and extend it up and overhead, resting the left hand on the belly. We might want to close our eyes and feel for an energy that moves with the breath. Breathe down into your left hip, through the belly, up to the right armpit. And again, maybe we feel for a warm gold light in the stomach. When you're ready, let's slowly lower the right arm and bend the left foot. Let's place both feet down on the floor. Feel support in the soles of the feet. We can let the knees sway a little bit to loosen the low back. This is where it all began today. Our movement began here, moving the arms in the opposite direction of the knees. We might notice that it feels a little different from when we began. Eventually, bring it to center. Now, if you'd like to try something a little different today, you can take your feet out wide and then let the knees fall into touch, and the edges of your feet might peel up a little bit. You can get comfortable through your low back and your ribs. The arms can go anywhere where they're comfortable. If you think that you would rather straighten your legs out or maybe do something different with your body for final relaxation, go ahead and use the next minute to get comfortable. You are also welcome to sit up for final meditation, especially if you don't want to fall asleep. Now, if you know that you fall asleep during meditation and you like falling asleep, then go ahead, take a nap. That's okay. As we settle into this place of stillness for meditation, soften the whole body. So maybe start to scan from the feet. We soften and then we scan up to the backs of the knees, soften here. Scan up to the sides of the hips and the buttocks muscles, soften. Notice the middle of the chest and the middle of the stomach, soften. Notice your side ribs, elbows and hands, softening. Head and neck, relaxed. Ears, jaw, eyes, back of the head. Soften the whole body. As we release tension, we might become more aware of sensations in the body that are soft, spongy, airy and light. And at the same time, we do notice that we feel fully supported by the earth. Let's move through some primary color and sound healing today, beginning with awareness of your hips and low back. See your body surrounded by a deep red, a scarlet red color. Taking a big inhale. And as you exhale, the color turns white, bright white light all around us. With this white light around you, as you exhale, hear the sound lum. So in the mind, chanting on the exhale, lum. Now let's shift awareness to the belly, between the belly button and the spine, and see gold light all around you. Take in a big breath. Exhale, that light changes to bright white. Take in a big breath again. And as you exhale, hear the sound rum. You're welcome to try chanting it out loud or just hear it from the mind. Rum. Let's bring awareness up to your throat. And see yourself, feel yourself have a presence of turquoise colored light all around you. Take in a big breath. Exhale, again, bright white light. Let's take in a big breath with that white light. And now exhale, the sound is hum. You're welcome to hum. Notice how that feels in the body. Big breath. Hum. Now just rest with it. We may want to stay here a bit longer, just allowing the body to bathe in this white light, allowing the chanting of those seed sounds, the lum, rum, hum. Allow that energy to resonate through the body, creating order. These particular chants are used to eliminate depression, anger, and anxiety, the three most common emotional states that interrupt our sense of peace. You can always chant all three together. Lum, rum, hum. Lum, rum, hum. From wherever you are, we will close our practice, drawing in a deep breath for the body. Again, you might want to stay here a little longer. When it feels right for you to close the relaxation portion, just take your time moving slow. Eventually, you might want to bend your knees or introduce a little movement before you come up to seated. I extend infinite peace, grace, and compassion out to you all. From here, we can close. Namaste. Have a fantastic day.